Hey everyone, so today I'm going to be talking to you all about brushes. So since I am a student, I do my best to not spend too much money on things that I don't necessarily need to spend a lot of money on. And one of the things that I'm willing to kind of compromise with are my brushes. And the only reason why I feel like I'm able to do that is because there's so many great brands out there that are inexpensive but high quality brushes. So as much as I would love to invest like $400 something in Sigma brushes, which trust me, I really would, I am not doing that, at least not at this point. So today I just wanted to sit down and talk to you about some different brands, some different little tips to pick up makeup brushes that aren't expensive but also do a really great job at what they're supposed to do. So I'm also going to talk a little bit about the functioning of each brush that I talk about today. So first I'm going to talk about some different face brushes. And the very first one I'm going to talk about is my absolute obsession, and it has every right to be. This is the Makeup Geek Foundation Stippling Brush. And I'm pretty sure this little guy is all over the internet, all over everywhere, because it should be. It's got a pretty long handle like this, and the bristles are extremely dense. I use this is the only thing I use to apply my foundation, and I just kind of stipple, pat it on, and then I go in circular motions, and this just gives you an airbrushed, flawless finish. Absolutely love this brush, and I think this one was a little more on the expensive side. It was around like $15 to $17, but for your foundation, I feel like that's the one main brush in your collection that should be a little more high-end. And so absolutely love this brush. The next brush I'm going to talk about is by Sonia Kashuk. And this was in her, I think it was her anniversary collection. It's the purple and gold series. And this is just a beautiful blush brush. And you can also use this if you're just doing fine powder in specific areas, but it's extremely dense, extremely soft. It puts on the color beautifully. It doesn't take too much product to use this. And her entire set, which comes with like, I have them all over my desk right now, I'm trying to count, like probably 20 to 25 brushes, was like $40. And so absolutely love her. I have a couple of other brushes that I'm going to talk about, but yeah, so you would just use this to apply your blush onto the apples of your cheeks. And then the next Sonia Kashuk brush that I have is this one right here, and it looks like that. And this I use to contour my cheeks, so I will start up here and then just make a really defined angle. And I use this to initially apply my contour, and then I use another brush, which I will talk about later, to buff out the contour so it's not such a harsh line. But this is absolutely beautiful to get that really sharp edge that you look for whenever you are contouring your face. The next brush I'm going to talk about is an Eco Tools brush, and this one I think costs about like $7. 5 to 7 depending on where you get it. You can pick these up at Ulta, at Marshall's, at Target, Walgreens. There's so many different places you can get Eco Tools brush, but it's a fan brush like this. Again, super soft bristles. And this brush I use to apply my highlighter, and you just kind of like dip it in. It picks up so much product, and then you just like very lightly apply your highlighter to your cheekbones. All right, the next brush I have is this one right here. This guy is super, super dense, super, super soft. And it's, I got it from Target. It's by that brand, like Up and Up or something like that. Like, it's Target specific, but it was only a couple of dollars. And I use this to apply bronzer whenever I'm not contouring. Or I just use it to bronze up here by my hairline. And it really blends out any product super, super well. Again, really inexpensive. You can get this at Target, and yeah, I absolutely love it. So you can use it to apply your bronzer to your cheeks. You can use it applied to your forehead. It's just a really, really great brush. All right, now to continue on with the face, I'm going to talk about Real Techniques brushes. Absolutely obsessed with these brushes. They're synthetic hairs, and they have really dense hairs, I guess. And so this one is the Expert Face Brush, and it's just kind of like a domed shaped dense brush. And this is the one I was talking about that I will buff out my contour with after I use the Sonia Kashuk brush. And I just kind of like lightly blend upward and angled upward this way, if that makes any sense. And this just really buffs everything out, make sure that I don't have any harsh lines with my contour. And since I am still a beginner on YouTube, I find that this combination works really, really well. So it's super easy to use, and I think this brush was around like $7.99, so not too bad. And then the next brush I have is this one right here, again, Real Techniques, and this is actually the contour brush, but this one I use to apply my Anastasia Beverly Hills Banana Powder right underneath the eyes, and I find that it picks up the product really well, and it just kind of uses, why can't I talk today? Anyways, it just really buffs out the product super well, and it leaves under my eyes looking pretty flawless. I also will use this for my highlight whenever I don't use my fan brush, if I want like more of a precise highlight on my cheekbones. So I love this. I actually got this in a set with a couple of other brushes from Real Techniques, and I think it was around like $18 for a set of 4. So great product. This one I am so obsessed with for applying my blush. Like, I love the Sonia Kashuk one, but this one right here, which is the buffing brush, I love it. It applies my blush so well, and it's so easy, and it's like the perfect shape and size to like just get right below that cheekbone area to where you don't have blush all over your contour and all over your face to where your other products can't shine through. So I love this brush, and again, it's super soft and super dense. All right, now I'm going to get into some eyeshadow brushes. And again, this is where, like, obviously I would love to have, you know, Sigma, something like that, but not quite there yet. So again, we have the Sonia Kashuk collection, and this is the domed brush. It looks like this, and it's just a big fluffy dome brush. And I will use this whenever I am blending out my transition shade, or any other time that I'm wanting to put like a really buffed out look into my crease area. So I think this is really similar to Sigma's E something, like the big domed blending brush that everyone uses. I can't remember what number it is. I think it's like the E40 or something like that. So love that brush. The next one I have from Sonia Kashuk looks like this. It's a little dome brush again, but the hairs are shorter and it comes more to a point. And this I will use to get the product that I want right into the crease area. So it's not going to be super buffed out. It's more of a precise tip. And again, this came in her big collection set, which she comes out with sets all the time. So if you just look out for that type of brush tip, you will be able to find it somewhere. Moving on to my favorite under eye buffing duo. So I have these two Sonia Kashuk brushes right here. This one is just a little tiny definer brush, and it comes to a point. I don't know if you can see that right here. And then this one is just a Sonia Kashuk blending brush. And this one I will apply my first color, whether it be darker, whatever, and I'll just like kind of pack that in up against my lower lash line. And then this one I will use to either buff it out or to add a lighter shade of color and then buff that out underneath the line. So I absolutely love this. I think these would probably be great dupes for the Sigma definer brush and then the Sigma pencil brush. So unless you can afford that, then you go, girl. All right, the next brush I have again is Sonia Kashuk, totally obsessed. And it's just another longer dome-shaped brush. And this one is more for blending out right in the crease area. And I also like to do the outer V with this brush. So anytime you're doing like a really smoky eye and you just want like the darker color into your crease area, this is a really great brush. And the white collection is actually cheaper than her black collection, which I'm going to talk about this one next. But this one was about like $4, and then the black collection gets a little more pricey, so like up in the 8s to 15, I think. So moving on to that one, we have this one right here, and this is just a really fat, fluffy dome brush, again by Sonia Kashuk. And this I typically use whenever I am setting my my Benefit Stay Don't Stray eye primer, and so like just to make sure that it's not tacky or anything before I go in with my actual shadows, I will take this and use like just a really basic color and kind of blend that all over the entire lid and the entire eye. And this is really great for doing that because you have a lot of coverage. And then this next brush, I don't even know what this brand is, but I got it from Marshalls or TJ Maxx, which is a little tip. Anytime you are looking for a brush, go to TJ Maxx, go to Marshalls first and see if you can find kind of what you're looking for, because they have a lot of the brands that I've talked about here besides Makeup Geek. You can get that only online or in her store, I believe, if she has one yet. But go there and just get the brushes that you need. It's so much cheaper and you're still getting the high quality brushes that you want. Anywho, so this is where I got this brush right here. I got this one, I believe, from Marshalls, and it's a thinner, more pointy blending brush. So again, I will use this to blend out multiple colors in the crease area. Like if I use this one to kind of buff out my transition shade, then the next shade that I go in with in the crease, I will use this one. And it's really precise and it's absolutely awesome. I love it. All right, the last brush thing that I want to talk about right now is this little guy. So I know that everyone is obsessed with the beauty blenders, and personally I've never touched one, I've never used one, so I don't know if it's going to be a huge difference later down the road whenever I do decide to invest $20 in a little sponge. But I got this one at Marshalls and it seems to do the job pretty well. I use this to buff out my under eye concealer, and I also use it to buff out the concealer whenever I'm using it to highlight other areas of my face. It leaves a beautiful, flawless finish. I used to use this in the winter time with my foundation as well, whenever I was super dry and needed the extra moisture in my foundation. And yeah, it's amazing. It has like a little crack in it right here and it still lasted me. I've had this guy for like ever, and I clean it the same way that you would clean an actual beauty blender. I use like a non-foaming soap and it gets all the product out. So this little guy I think cost me like $4.99, $5.99. So comparing that to $20 whenever I'm pretty sure it basically does the same thing, it's just a really great dupe for that. So yeah, that is all I have for you guys today for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions about the brushes that I specifically have, or if you have any questions about brushes in general, please don't hesitate to ask in the comments below, and I will do my best to answer them as honestly as I can. Again, I'm not an expert in any of this quite yet, but I'm doing my best to get as much research under my belt, and that way I can give you guys better quality videos. So I really hope you enjoyed watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.